What was completely ruined because too many people start doing it. Ad block. Now every website has a warning. It used to be a rare sight. And just enjoying nature. There were just a few summer cabins along the lakeshore and the area was kept clean. The only sounds were fish rippling the water and birds in the trees, the air naturally scented with pine. Then, the lake was discovered and people started buying up every available bit of lakefront real estate to build oversized houses and docks for high-speed motorboats. Now, as I once lamented, the pure water of the lake has become polluted and the fish are mostly gone. Outboard boat engines dominate the sound and the pine trees have been chopped down in favor of development. Climbing Everest. It was cool before everyone else started doing it. Waiting in line. It was cool before everyone else started doing it. It used to be a rare sight. Climbing Everest. Trips to parks or camps. I am trying to get away from you. Y'all. It's beautiful scenery and peaceful as fuck. Can I just get drunk without listening to a dozen shitty speakers playing different shitty music all at once? When a thing becomes sufficiently popular, a show, a game, a sport, people who don't actually like that thing, but want to become a part of what's popular, are inevitably a part of its demise. Because producers usually want to broaden the appeal of their project to increase profits. But they fail to realize they're changing their project for a group of people who aren't actually interested in it anyway. This then turns away the originally interested demographic. Streaming services. It used to be a single place where you could find any show you wanted easily. To disincentivize piracy. But now that every company and their mom has a streaming service. All with exclusive content. Piracy is easier even with the ads. Load times. And low quality. Simply because I don't need to pay 12 different subscriptions to watch shows. A serene, unspoiled mountain lake was perfect for fishing, swimming, and just enjoying nature. There were just a few summer cabins along the lakeshore and the area was kept clean. The only sounds were fish rippling the water and birds in the trees, the air naturally scented with pine. Then, the lake was discovered and people started buying up every available bit of lakefront real estate to build oversized houses and docks for high-speed motorboats. Now, as I once lamented, the pure water of the lake has become polluted and the fish are mostly gone. Outboard boat engines dominate the sound and the pine trees have been chopped down in favor of development. Online communities. They're great when small and everyone in it has a voice. Get too many people and the loud and obnoxious minority start overwhelming things. I feel like life hacks and DIY in general have been ruined because of YouTube channels like 5-Minute Crafts, BDSM, 50 Shades of Grey made people that had done zero research think they wanted to be in the lifestyle. But they fail to realize what the lifestyle actually is. There are things within that lifestyle that can be very dangerous if you don't know what you're doing. And reading a friggin' badly written series of books is not research nor does it make you an expert. Hard to think of something this doesn't apply to. Storm chasing. It was fun 20 years ago. Provided you had enough sense not to get too close, leave that shit to the pros. But today? So many amateurs do it that they get in each other's way and people ahead of the storms have trouble getting to safety. The NWS has even had to ask amateur storm chasers to knock it off because some of the professionals have hit traffic jams while trying to get out of the path of tornadoes. Bluetooth speakers while floating the river. Y'all. It's beautiful scenery and peaceful as fuck. Can I just get drunk without listening to a dozen shitty speakers playing different shitty music all at once? Too crowded. Ugly Christmas sweaters. A lot of people that genuinely could use them during school aren't allowed to because people that didn't need them caused distractions and got them banned. Edit. Why are people such dickheads to strangers on the topic of fucking fidget spinners? Small music festival I used to attend. Beautiful and fun. Got together with my husband there. Then too many people started talking about how great it was. More people attending every year. It started to get too big and I think the landowner could sense it. He no longer holds it. It was sad to see it go, but easy to see it was losing its magic. Bits to influence polls. Subbing for a half year in advance. The majority of the original Twitch staff have been let go. Adblock is now dead. Music will now get you banned. The list goes on and on. Everything tourist. So many national parks now bumper to bumper traffic. So many places with cute shops and cafes now have police that make everyone now bust a gut, keep walking. People trying to play frisbee on cram-packed beaches full of dog shit. Too crowded. Camping. Almost all of the campsites I have been to in the past however many years have had a group of annoying, loud people playing stupid loud music into the night. I go camping to enjoy nature. Not to listen to you. Flower fields, wild or otherwise. They are beautiful and can make an amazing scene for a professional photography shoot for someone who is careful not to destroy the area in the process. But put that photo on Instagram and everyone wants the same picture and ends up trampling the fields. Which then results in all photography, and even visitors, being banned. Same with many natural historic environments. The housing market because of people investing in rental properties. Half the houses on my street are rentals. Doesn't even feel like I'm part of a community anymore. But I believe that a healthy dose of that can exist. Just enough to maintain a healthy group of people who share the same interests without diluting it. I've seen far too many communities, especially small ones, get destabilized by people who are kinda into what the group stands for but want to do their own thing more than keep the spirit of the group alive. How is it progressive to let anyone enjoy everything without any kind of boundaries or standards if accommodating new people means passionate and dedicated long-term members end up feeling disillusioned? Concerts and shows where everyone is holding up their phones trying to record everything. Do these people not realize that they're completely ruining the experience for the people sitting behind them and who also paid good money to see the performance? Bullshit stories on LinkedIn. My dream of buying a van and converting it. But screw it. Conspiracy theories. Now I love a good conspiracy theory. They're mainly harmless and it's kind of fun to read into them sometimes. You think Bush did 9/11? Okay then. You believe that. That viewpoint doesn't hurt anyone. You think that the ruling elite are actually reptilian shapeshifters? I like your imagination. You believe the Titanic is just a cover-up so JP Morgan could secretly order the assassination of 2 people voting against the creation of the Federal Reserve in order to further line his own pockets? Sounds interesting. Tell me more. Then canon enters the picture. Do I need to say more? Never has a conspiracy theory been potentially more dangerous and damaging to society as a whole. It's frightening how many people are falling for this rubbish. YouTube was pretty fun in the early days. Just people sharing fun stuff. Now it's all about taking 20 minutes to describe something that takes 1 and getting a zillion views $. Although it's not completely ruined. Totally enjoy watching robots, squirrels, etc. Cutting cable. My family started back when it was only Netflix and Hulu. Now every channel has a subscription. Good supportive forums etc, and now everyone is like OMG Doge to the moon 1, diamond hands bitches. Social media was over the moment everyone's parents logged on. I hate that every single company tries to tie in their macaroni and cheese or auto dealership to this stupid Star Wars Day. April Fool's Day. Again. You spend the whole day wading through unimaginative, tired cliches from boring companies and sports writers who can't be bothered to put more than a second's thought into their hilarious joke. Just stop. A lot of beer money websites, surveys, user testing, etc. reduce rewards as their supply of users grow. It's a boom-bust cycle. My high school. My high school was built to house 600 people maximum. We now have 800 kids. We also don't have enough school hours because of this. I only had 12-hour school weeks from the new year onwards. The bike racks are also completely packed to the brim. Writing and film criticism. I've seen too many people claim to know what they're doing completely fail to understand the fundamentals. ultimately harping on things that aren't mistakes, and praising things that are. I debated posting this on a throwaway account, but here goes. BDSM. 50 Shades of Grey made people that had done zero research think they wanted to be in the lifestyle. But they fail to realize what the lifestyle actually is. There are things within that lifestyle that can be very dangerous if you don't know what you're doing. And reading a friggin' badly written series of books is not research, nor does it make you an expert. Driving early to work. Now because everyone does it. It's the same as the rush hour. Or driving in general. It's difficult to get anywhere with the traffic now. Woman and child had at least 77 fidget spinners. Before long. Like everyone that becomes popular on the internet. It was popularized to the point where suddenly the cool thing to do is to hate it and everyone who uses one. So the people who had fidget spinners because they needed them could no longer use them without everyone else looking at them like brain dead 7-year-olds. My ex. Twitch. Popularity in the past 3+ years has brought on so many changes to the site for the worse. Edit. To clarify, I am not talking about anything on the content creator side. Only the burdens that attention has brought. Amazon is now actually trying to make a profit off of everything with excessive ads. Hype trains to influence. Bits. Gifting 100 tier 3 subs at once. Bits to influence polls. Subbing for a half year in advance. The majority of the original Twitch staff have been let go. Ad block is now dead. Music will now get you banned. The list goes on and on. Video games. Particularly that a lot of young kids now see it as a way to become rich. You pretty much can't play online games just for fun. Probably most nature. When I lived in the Bay Area, I looked forward to spending my weekends in nature. Away from people. That changed. Now everyone shows up everywhere and is really fucking loud and rude. Ugh. Glad I left. I guess this has been happening many places. Social media. Becoming a YouTuber. May the 4th. I hate that every single company tries to tie in their macaroni and cheese or auto dealership to this stupid Star Wars Day. April Fool's Day. Again. You spend the whole day wading through unimaginative, tired cliches from boring companies and sports writers who can't be bothered to put more than a second's thought into their hilarious joke. Just stop. Everyone on there knew you weren't there for a relationship and there was a certain level of anonymity to it. Now everybody and their mom is on the dating apps and none of them are really geared towards hookups anymore, at least for straight people. There are still those people out there. But it takes a lot more time and effort to find them. You also have to be more careful with what you put out there because there's a non-trivial chance people you know will come across your profile. Among Us. It's a good game. But because of all the toddlers playing it, it got completely ruined. Collecting vinyl. I used to be able to go to the thrift stores and come home with a handful of decent records. It was fun. Until all those high-pitched 8-yo little Timmies began playing, and from there it became hard to find someone who isn't a squeaky kid who breaks their monitor when they die and sounds like a squeaky door. In Austin. Barton Creek. Too many people on the trails. Playing their stupid fucking music from their stupid fucking speakers. And not picking up after their dogs. Fidget spinners. Originally. They were made for people with ADHD or something to help keep them from getting distracted by giving their subconscious mind something to do. Somehow. It becomes a huge fucking meme and almost every man, woman, and child had at least 77 fidget spinners. Before long. Like everything that becomes popular on the internet. It was popularized to the point where suddenly the cool thing to do is to hate it and everyone who uses one. So the people who had fidget spinners because they needed them could no longer use them without everyone else looking at them like brain dead 7-year-olds. Honestly. Anything. Reddit is anal about gatekeeping. But I believe that a healthy dose of that can exist. Just enough to maintain a healthy group of people who share the same interests without diluting it. I've seen far too many communities, especially small ones, Get destabilized by people who are kinda into what the group stands for but want to do their own thing more than keep the spirit of the group alive. How is it progressive to let anyone enjoy everything without any kind of boundaries or standards if accommodating new people means passionate and dedicated long-term members end up feeling disillusioned? Everything. Every fucking thing. If people enjoy it, someone will start a trend or a hashtag and it will become a thing on social media that you have to be seen to do. Or want to do in order to be in. And then, if people are enjoying it, if it's popular, someone will find a way to monetize it and profit from it, which usually involves making it widely more accessible to open up their possible market. Collecting selling Pokemon cards. The internet. I still long back to N90's internet. Playing Among Us. Over half of the players on there are honestly terrible. And it gets on my nerves when people just say nah. Those are just little kids. There are plenty of adults who are also shit at that game. Living in Austin. I've seen too many people claim to know what they're doing completely fail to understand the fundamentals. Ultimately harping on things that aren't mistakes. And praising things that are. The internet. I let it be known that my little rural post office was a great place to get stamps. As no one ever checked there for stamps, I'm a stamp collector. Well, word spread and now I have to fight with about 5 other collectors in the area on issue days. No copyright music. Some songs are so good but are too overused. Using fidget spinners. A lot of people that genuinely could use them during school aren't allowed to because people that didn't need them caused distractions and got them banned. Edit. I just wanna add that I meant they caused distractions to the users that were just using them as toys. And no matter who uses them, they shouldn't be allowed to be distracting anyone at all. Canning became next level difficult after the mason jar decorating fad hit. People buying up jars for receptions and events. My still not returning jars because they are using them for drinking cups. Thanks. Now I need to buy more jars if I'm going to continue gifting my homemade jam goodness. Now, I purposely gift the 4-ounce jars because I don't use them for my personal projects so it isn't as annoying if they don't come back. The pandemic gardeners led to spike in first-time canners and a shortage of jars and lids, but I'm not going to fault them because they are using the jars as intended. The manufacturer's supply chain wasn't prepared for that. My high school. My high school was built to house 600 people maximum. We now have 800 kids. We also don't have enough school hours because of this. I only had 12-hour school weeks from the new year onwards. The bike racks are also completely packed to the brim. Traveling. Maybe I am just giving anecdotal evidence. But people who traveled before did it for the love of travel and new places and experiences. The majority now seem to travel for pictures and because it's a cool thing to do and brag about. Broth. Storage wars. Video games. The internet. Signed. An early 90s user. People in general are the greatest destructive force. Everything is where too many people are destroyed. Van life. I dreamed of living in a van in 2010 but could never scrape together the money. I find a parking spot I can buy for super cheap in a crazy hot spot in the city. Now everybody and their cousin are buying up vans to live in. Now trying to chase the teardrop trailer dream. Build something lightweight enough for a super small car to haul but can leave it behind at campgrounds while we explore and it won't blow away. For Locus. It was a really fun game until the community was overrun by 12-year-olds. After the main audience got younger, Epic started changing the game to appease little kids. The Bush and Boogie Bomb were the first signs of things to change. After Fortnite dances got big, it felt really childish and not fun to play the game. Nostalgia. This is an incredibly vague answer. But the whole wave of 80s 90s nostalgia on TV and movies has been oversaturated, nothing new is standing out. I'm wondering what people 30 years from now will look back at this time and reminisce about. I wouldn't say it's completely ruined. But its reputation has been soiled. I'm an arsehole, I know. But I was irritated when quarantine had tons of people hiking and fishing and stuff. All my favorite parks and spots were full of people and their children, trashing the place and making it impossible to social distance or enjoy my normal park time. Buying real estate. What a shit show. Podcasting. Morel hunting. Everything is where too many people are destroyed. Social media. Used to be a place where you could connect with friends and see what they're up to. You still can if you follow your friends and family only. Nowadays it's just flex culture and hustle porn on there. And the sports pages on Instagram keep hyping up LeBron James and Tom Brady all the time. It irritates me, so I purposely alter my algorithm so I don't have to see that crap. Toronto. Used to be a very accessible major city. Now it's so packed with people it's impossible to get around. Giant condo buildings everywhere. Downtown Toronto used to be so enjoyable to just aimlessly wander around through. Quite chill for a city of its size. Now it's just a hassle getting anywhere. I know this can be said about many other cities, but Toronto in particular seems to have changed very drastically in this way. I would say playing Jetpack Joyride. It was such a user-friendly game. An endless run where you had to collect coins and then could use them to buy clothing and stuff. It used to require one to get to a certain level to use certain gadgets in a run. And every time I unlock new gadgets it used to be so cool to the kid me. Now there's so many players and the ads dominate. You can use any gadget as long as you buy it. Or watch an ad to equip it for a run. The coins at the end of the run can be doubled at the end of every run if you watch an ad. And the epic coin animation has gone as well. So it's not as much fun as it was before. Our next fucking level. Our hole up. Our unpopular opinion. Our dankmums. And countless more. Zoom. I've had enough. Gore. Failing kids. Cheating on assignments. That being said. Easily the best year of school. Purchasing microtransactions and loot boxes and video games. It seems more and more games are starting to be filled with them. I mean going from full expansion packs down to loot boxes. Grunge. The whole point is to be counterculture. Reposting. Shitposting. Punctuation errors. Karma whoring. It's all common practice now. These things used to get you downvoted to oblivion. Hell. People barely remember when the narwhal begins, and that is sad. Our Wall Street butts. Back then. Good game. But kids ruined it by posting on TikTok epic GMWs. PLZ Adam time to F48 desperate to have sex with a character from a fucking video game. And their fucking emotes. Just cringe. True crime anything podcasts. Documentary series. Subreddits. It's a bit of a jackass thing to say, but I'm always a little annoyed when one of my favorite movies or TV shows get really popular. When I watch a smart movie or TV show I like it best when it has a small loyal community of people who equally like it and love talking about it because they understand what it's about and feel like it's something that resonates or interests them. But when it's popular 99% of the buzz goes from stuff like, ending explained. Why is X so weird? Top 10 reasons the show is actually terrible. WTF did I just watch? Came here cause of X referencing it. Not to forget all the unnecessary remakes and spin-offs that are commissioned. Airbnb. User testing. etc. Reduce rewards as their supply of users grow. It's a boom-bust cycle. Amateur porn. Now. Most amateur porn is made by professionals. I'm not saying other people can't buy or use them. Because that's ridiculous. I'm talking about buying them and then not using them for their intended purpose, throwing, selling, purposeful distractions, etc. They end up getting banned and now I can't use mine for the actual thing I need it for. Craft breweries. May feel dated. But CrossFit. I started doing it in 2007 when it was still relatively unknown. It was a pretty great community and the focus seemed to be on fitness for anyone. Not just for those who wanted to be semi-competitive athletes. Fast forward a few years and CrossFit Games had become widely known. The culture got way more bro-y. Workouts became more about heavy weights and gymnastics movements. Paleo became the only acceptable diet. I kept getting injured from workouts that were designed for elite athletes and coaches who pushed their students as though we were all trying to qualify for the games. Some of us just liked being in shape and didn't need to PR every WOD. Every nice little piece of nature that is now a tourist spot. Crafting and thrift stores. Both used to be relatively cheap and now it's expensive. Away from people. That changed. Now everyone shows up everywhere and is really fucking loud and rude. Ugh. Glad I left. I guess this has been happening many places. Living on Earth. Used to be abundant resources and land and it's overcrowded now. A year later. The church changed the run-up. And run-out so it was no longer skatable as there had been too many serious injuries. Camping. When I was a boy in the 1960s we could spontaneously decide to go tent camping at a state park on a weekend. We could even gather firewood. 50 years later and 125 added to the US population. Not anymore. When bands get so popular that they outgrow the smaller and better venues. Don't get me wrong. On one side it's amazing to see a band evolve and grow their fan base and catalog to a point where they are wildly successful. That's the whole point, right? On the flip side it sucks from a fan perspective where literally the only venue they can play at is a massive arena of 10,000 plus seats. Or worse. A festival of 15,000 or much more. The small intimate venues of a couple hundred people. Or even the mid-size and particularly the orchestra theater that are virtually perfect for sound are so nice. I get it. But when you're so far back that you can't see a single thing. Or the bad venues where the sound is bouncing off concrete walls and is horribly awful. Those ones are a bummer. Grunge. The whole point is to be counterculture. American Ninja Warrior. That contest used to be way better when it was only on the TV channel G4. There was something boutique about it. But not in a nauseating hipster way. The obstacle course became more about flashy showmanship than about athleticism. I feel like they are just coming up with weird ways to screw with people. Back before it was popular. ANW and the whole parkour scene was a much more pure thing. Taking pictures of particularly beautiful places. Watching the absolutely surreal sunrise through Mesa Arch. There was over 100 people there. All but 3 of us watched the entire thing through their camera or phone. A lot of the best scenic spots are now chock full of people just filtering in and out. Taking pictures for social media and leaving. Grand Canyon. Zion. Yellowstone. Tetons. etc. Living in smaller tourist towns. There was a food place near my old middle school that used to give free leftovers to any kids that needed it after school. Then one kid decided to bring his friend along. Then that friend told one of his friends and you can guess what happened from there. Trading cards, Pokemon. Bitcoin mining. Adblock. Back when Greece wasn't a very popular tourist destination. It was such a peaceful place. But now it's popular. Most of it is absolutely packed with tourists. I kind of feel bad for the locals. It's still a beautiful country, of course. TikTok. When the Chinese used it to make their theme stuff. It was nice and cool, like calm as a bitch. Which is still my favorite to this day. When the West started downloading that app and making trends. It all became bad. A nonsensical time-wasting platform and it's not even fun anymore. People there do what? Post about how ugly they are when everyone's looking better than some celebrities? If you want a place to brag, show off about your beauty. Go to the streets or to a pub. Not to that app. It makes people with low self-esteem feel bad about their bodies. Faces and beauty standards gets incredibly high. To an unhealthy extent. In addition to it all being cringe. Of course. In Austin. Barton Creek. Too many people on the trails. Playing their stupid fucking music from their stupid fucking speakers. And not picking up after their dogs. My ex. Gacha trends. I'm a fan of gacha and I like the game and most of the content. But I hate the trends because most of them involve abuse, rape, heat, and other stuff. Thinking. So many people these days just outright failing at it. So much that doing it badly seems to have become the status quo. In the 80s, I would buy chicken wings at the grocery store for a ridiculously low price. Like, they almost gave them away. I'd broil them in oven with BBQ sauce and my friends thought it was a bit weird but learned to love them. Nobody sold them in restaurants. You'd never see them in bars. They were considered garbage. Then over the span of maybe 5 years the price and quality of packaging climbed up to where it is now. Proportionally. Moving to Austin. Dogecoin. My ex-girlfriend. Consumption of any finite resource.